beautiful souls, and welcome back to another session of The Sanctuary. This is our space for reflection, growth, and connection. I'm your girl and guide, Mariah Myles, and I am so glad you're here with me today as we continue our exploration of gratitude this February. We're diving so deep into how art and our spiritual selves help us navigate our emotions and finding meaning in our experiences. So sit back, relax. It's time to tune in. In our last session, we dove into the complexities of loneliness and how it can coexist with gratitude. We talked about the importance of acknowledging these feelings as part of our overall healing journey. And if you missed that, I encourage you to check it out. It really sets a lovely context for what we're diving into today. Something that has been coming to me lately is the spiritual mind. And I wonder, when you hear that, spiritual mind, what comes up when I say it? What does that mean for you? For me, it's that part of us that seeks connection. This part of our consciousness that seeks connection with something greater than ourselves. Whether that's a higher power or the universe or the stories of those who came before us, it's about tapping into something greater than ourselves, right? That spiritual mind that encourages us to explore our inner selves and really understand our emotions in a profound way. And when we engage with our spiritual selves, we open up to a deeper understanding of our emotions and our experiences. We've been reflecting a lot about how we navigate transitions in life and how sometimes our emotional landscape can feel heavy in those times, right? The spiritual mind encourages us to reflect on our feelings and find meaning in them. It reminds us that it's perfectly okay to feel lost or even lonely, while also seeking the light of gratitude. So let's talk a little bit about art. It's something that has always been a big part of my life, whatever that means. I've dabbled in creating it and studying it and even teaching it. Yeah, that happened. And I truly believe that art serves as a bridge to our unconscious mind. It connects our emotional experiences to those deeper truths that we often overlook. Why is that? Okay, we'll get into that a little bit. But I'd love to share one of my favorite pieces by one of my all-time favorite artists, Romare Bearden. And for those of you who know me, I know I'm constantly talking about this guy. Not constantly, but he's one of my faves. Anyways, the piece that I wanted to share today is entitled The Sea Nymph. And if you like, perhaps you find some stillness. Maybe you lower your gaze or even close your eyes. And I invite you to use your imagination here. Imagine that as you gaze upon this vibrant collage before you, you're immediately drawn into a dreamlike world. There's this figure of the sea nymph, which emerges from a swirling sea of deep blues and greens. And there's a richness about her hair that's flowing and dancing in the water. There's something appealing about her. She embodies both an allure, a strength, and she's gazing directly at you. there's this expression on her face, a little bit of tranquility, a little bit of an invitation, maybe to explore the depths of her realm. And the water around the sea nymph is alive. There is so much movement. There's painted, textured strokes that mimic the flow of the ocean. It's as if the very sea itself is whispering secrets, inviting you to dive just a little bit deeper into your own emotions. And the interplay of the colors creates such a strong sense of depth. It's drawing you deeper into her story. A narrative that's maybe filled with a sense of longing and desire, maybe for freedom, and a really deep connection to nature. This vibrant imagery brings to mind the insights of Carl Jung. He's a renowned psychoanalyst who emphasized the power of the unconscious and how it shapes our experiences. Jung believed that our unconscious holds not only these personal memories, but also these archetypes, like universal symbols and themes that really resonate across culture and time. And when we engage with art, like Bearden's The Sea Nymph, we tap into these archetypal images that speak to our shared human experience. The sea nymph herself, she can be seen as an archetype of femininity and intuition. She embodies these qualities of mystery and depth. Jung would suggest that by engaging with such archetypes, we can uncover hidden aspects of ourselves, our desires, our fears, and even our aspirations. And I think that this serves as a reminder that the art we connect with often reflects now not just the artist's journey, but also our own inner wisdom. And just like the sea nymph, we all navigate our emotional waters. Sometimes we feel lost. And while other times we find ourselves swimming in gratitude. In Bearden's work, he reminds us that even in our loneliness, there is some deep beauty and complexity in our own journeys. I think it's a really great metaphor for the struggles that we face and the connections that we seek. And this piece, The Sea Nymph, it's part of one of Bearden's most significant collections. It was inspired by his own reflections after reading the Odyssey, and he aimed to make these themes more relatable for Black people, particularly the theme about, or the idea of, going home. I mean, going home in itself carries a multitude of meanings, but ultimately, we can always find our home within ourselves. And that's what art allows us to do. It helps us reconnect with our inner selves and find that sense of belonging. I think that's why I just love it so much. I encourage you to take a moment to explore this further. Like literally, you can pause the recording if you need to and look up Bearden's paintings and see what resonates with you. What emotions or thoughts arise as you engage with his work. Or alternatively, you could think about a time when a piece of music or a painting moved you. And just kind of notice, what are you experiencing right now? In this moment. And if we go back to Romare Bearden and his vibrant collages that really beautifully narrate stories of Black life and culture, he wasn't afraid to go there. He reflected both on his personal experiences and the collective experience. That really brings community in when we can have those shared experiences. And what I admire most about him is his ability to stay true to himself and his roots. So here's a fun fact. He declined becoming a professional baseball player because he refused to pass for white. And this really stood out to me. And sometimes I can't tell if I'm enamored with his work or if it's just his character, and maybe it's a little bit of both. But he really wanted to honor his legacy. And he did just that through his art. That moves me. That makes me feel so inspired. Let's take a few breaths here together. Just noticing the flow of the breath. Watching the inhale and the exhale. Creating art can offer a powerful release. I've noticed themes and repetitions in my own work. But if I'm being honest, I haven't painted since maybe late summer. The last few months have been kind of going in waves for me. This fluctuation I've come to get used to. I kind of fluctuate between painting and writing. It's really common for me. And recently I've found a lot of joy in writing. I think it's a great way for me to articulate my emotions. And this creative process can be incredibly healing. It provides this safe space to confront so many different emotions, trauma, grief, anxiety. And whether it's painting, drawing, or even making music, the act of creating often brings such a cathartic release. And it also enhances self-awareness. Have you ever felt that sense of relief when you pour your heart into a project? Art also has a wonderful ability to foster community and shared experiences. Think about how exhibitions or collaborative projects unite us in exploring our stories and feelings. They remind us that we're part of a larger human tapestry. It's all interconnected, it's all woven in. And reflecting on our losses can deepen our understanding of life. Because loss teaches us such profound lessons, doesn't it? And we all experience loss in some way or the other. How have your experience shaped your perspective? These reflections can help us navigate our emotions and foster those deeper connections with ourselves and others. And as we continue our exploration of gratitude, remember that expressing it isn't just about acknowledging what we have, it's also about affirming our values and the relationships that enrich our lives. So let's take a moment to pause and reflect. How does recognizing what you're grateful for help you manage feelings of loneliness? And you can even pause the recording and come back when you're ready. Just allow yourself to be in that space. How does recognizing what you're grateful for help you manage feelings of loneliness? Breathing into the space. Engaging with art taps into universal themes, connecting us with our deeper selves. And when we practice gratitude, we begin to notice the small joys that contribute to our sense of purpose. It's like that saying, they say seeing things through rose-colored glasses. If we were to put on new glasses, they might help us see beauty in everyday moments. This intertwining of gratitude and meaning can help us navigate loneliness, allowing us to find light in the darkness. And art provides a powerful avenue for exploring this relationship. Through creative expression, I think we give voice to our experiences. We allow and transform feelings of loneliness into something really beautiful. I feel like this is my love letter to art, but creating art can also be a form of mindfulness. It's bringing us into the present moment. And when we immerse ourselves in creativity, we often lose track of time. At least I do. Entering a meditative state that fosters a connection to something greater. It's really that spiritual experience too. And many artists describe feeling in a flow state or being in the zone where inspiration flows quite freely. Engaging with art invites us to reflect on our lives. And it also provokes questions about existence, purpose. It creates a spiritual connection as we ponder experiences and emotions. And whether it's through collaborative projects or exhibitions, art continues to unite us in exploring these feelings and beliefs. It really makes us feel connected because it emphasizes our shared humanity. And let us not forget that engaging in artistic activities can reduce stress. It promotes emotional well-being overall. And yes, there is research that shows that even art therapy helps individuals uncover underlying issues, which really makes it easier to confront emotions. It's like having a conversation with your inner self without using words. And sometimes we really need that. And sometimes we really need others to see it too. And what's coming to me strongly in this moment is, it's as if we need someone to see the inside of us that we can't quite explain. And when we create something, they can see those insides. They can see all of us. Finally, a sense of relief, right? Don't ask me to explain it. Explain the work. Just let it speak for itself. Just accept what you see. And maybe that's the same ask we're having of other people when they meet us. Don't make me explain myself. Just accept me as I am. Let's take a moment together. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And I invite you to take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Think about 3 things you're grateful for right now. They can be small or big, whatever comes to mind really. And allow that feeling of gratitude to fill your heart. What are you noticing? Let's breathe together again. Tune back into the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. As we explore gratitude, I think it's important to acknowledge that it often resides in the small things. I know I just said that, but it's good to have another reminder. It's not just about the big milestones, it's about appreciating those little moments that bring joy. And I wonder, what small blessings have you noticed recently? Maybe you said them in your gratitude. Maybe it was a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset. These are all reminders of goodness in our lives. And our human brain often focuses on the negative, and so we have to stop and pause and be intentional. Integrating gratitude into our daily routines can help us stay connected to our spiritual selves and really cultivate a sense of contentment. And I don't really want to get into all of the political climate that's happening all around us, but it is hard for many to stay balanced right now, and so we have to be intentional and focus on the small things. Cultivate that sense of contentment. Okay. And so maybe your intention is to continue that practice each day, to remind yourselves. And we're going to shift gears and move into today's somatic practice. And so if you're available, allowing yourself to gather up whatever you need for our restorative practice today of legs up the wall. So as the name suggests, you are going to need a wall. And if you're not in the space to do so right now, maybe you pause and come back when you are. But I invite you to ground yourself in gratitude and self-awareness as we try this little practice. And like I said, it's a restorative practice. It calms the mind and promotes relaxation. So find a wall that works for you and allow yourself to sit on the floor facing that wall. Lower your shoulders and your head to the floor, lying on your side. And then roll onto your back and gently stretch your legs up the wall, with your feet hip distance apart or whatever distance feels comfortable to you. You can adjust your position by scooting your tailbone toward the wall. And just allow your arms to relax by your sides, feeling supported by the earth beneath you. And as you settle in, let's take a moment to focus on your breath. With each inhale, invites feelings of gratitude into your heart. With each exhale, visualize letting go of any tension or any worries. And let's stay in this position for a couple of minutes. Breathing deeply and embracing the moment. When you're ready, gently begin to deepen your breath. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and your toes, rotating your feet in small little circles to the left and to the right. Maybe you allow your wrist to do the same, rotating them. And gently open your eyes. And as we come out of this pose, let's check in with ourselves. How do you feel right now? Maybe you think of it on a scale from 0 to 10. Where does your mood sit? And 10 being like the highest positive form. I wonder what contributed to this feeling. Did engaging in the practice kind of shift your mood? Just acknowledging these feelings is so important to our growth, being able to notice. Also, consider how art and self-expression play a role in your emotional landscape. Have you created something recently that helped you process your feelings? I'd actually really love to hear your thoughts on this and love to see if you want to take a picture or send me something. You can find me on IG. And as we wrap up today's conversation, I invite you to carry these reflections with you. Remember, it's okay to feel a mix of emotions. Embrace them, explore them, and let them guide you on this journey. Once again, thank you for being here, either on Apple Podcast or YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a session here at the Sanctuary. I'm still welcoming your experiences. I want to hear your sanctuary voice. What does healing look like for you? Or whatever else you want to share, I'm here for it. You can connect at thesanctuarywithmoriahmyles at gmail.com. Altogether, no spaces, or head over to IG. That's at my_Mariah. Until next time, embrace each breath and remember, our bodies have this innate wisdom, the beautiful ability to heal itself, and we heal best in community. Peace, y'all. While this podcast may feel like a therapeutic conversation, it is important to note that it is not a substitute for professional therapy or mental health. The information shared here is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used as a replacement for personalized mental health care. Although I am a therapist, I'm not acting as your therapist in this setting. If you are in need of support, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional.